Hello, welcome
Hello.
back to a Gossip with Friends with two daft friends. Me, Aileen,
Me,
and the daft
Daniel.
one, Danielle, who, by the way, keeps refusing to start the introduction, which is why I talk one lot of something.
Yeah.
Anyhow, hello,
Hello. What?
how are you?
That's what that was.
Huh? Aye. So, she's always late, right? Last week we set a time for when we were going to record and she was late, so I thought this week we'll set it early just in case she's late because I was up to 11:30 last Friday night to get this out in time for you on the Saturday because she was late. We'll talk about that later. Not really her fault, but it is her fault. And then we decided to do it at 10 o'clock this morning. Guess what? We're now recording at 25 to 2 in the afternoon because she was late. Then she had a hassle. What happened?
Yeah, the computer wasn't working. I wasn't in sync. So,
Computer said no.
computer says no. But to be fair, we were meant to be doing this tomorrow. Like,
That,
somebody's
listen,
busy tomorrow.
listen, listen. You'd have still been late. See, even if you were recording this tomorrow, you'd still be late.
I wouldn't have because I'd have tested everything.
You sounded like you had a stutter there. So,
Oh, see there, it's because the computer saying no again.
computer said no, doesn't like her. She's got a new mic, and her new mic decided to play up. Um, it wasn't really the mic. We just had to faff about with a few things, and now she's sorted. She's fine. She was out of sync about 30 seconds, and I'm sitting saying, "This would be dead funny if I was recording this and
My life at a sink of 30 seconds.
my life's out of sync by about 45 years." Right. So, how's your last week been?
Crazy. As you know, what's happened with the wee and
She's
being no
constantly got no well
well.
wins.
Yes, so it's been mental, but everybody's no well than I know, so it has been. I'd prefer I'd be no well here than the other road because the other road you can't get appointments or anything like that. It's like,
No. And see the days, like we keep getting texts through our doctor surgeries and now saying, "Oh, just to let you know, there's got to be no appointments a day because everybody's off sick, or there's got to be staff training, or there's going to be something." Doctors is always shut even when it's opened.
aye. The only reason she ended up, she was at the doctor's twice, obviously, and then I ended up had to take her to hospital because we couldn't get her temperature done. As you know, we are on meds and that, but in and out.
And then the vegan couldn't see shite, but she wanted it, so she's been up with the shits all night.
Aye. Great house this was this week.
Instead, she was got to block the toilet
Aye.
just to give Danielle a wee bit of extra work. My
Brilliant.
week has been not too bad actually, apart from the fact my eyes are doing my head in because they're still no fixed. Um, Nothing's really happened. Working, trying to work away, try to sort things, and that's about it. It's kind of Groundhog Day at this time of year for me. Nothing happens.
I did see, to be honest, I lost you there, you went, did. See,
Sick
to
of
be
it.
honest, I can't believe that it's the end of the week again. Like,
I can't believe we're halfway through February.
I was talking about this morning. It's actually quite scary how
So
fast.
my youngest is in his last year at school, although he's never at school. There's funny noises coming from somewhere. I think somebody's intercepting our conversation.
Vibrated there, it could have been.
It will be. Aye, so my youngest is in his last year at school and then he goes to college after the summer. But I said to him the other day, I went, you realise you've only got the rest of this month, then you've got March, then April, but 2 weeks he's off for April and then he's only back to school for a week and then he's off for study leave. Exams are May and then that's him done.
Just like that, eh? Oh dear.
And and I don't know how many exams he's got to be sitting this year, but he only needs one exam to get into one of the college courses, and the other two college courses he's got unconditional. So we know he's definitely got to college either way, which is good, and it's got to be good for him, hopefully. because
I
obviously
totally.
he's got his own wee issues. But I think college is definitely something that he needs. But we will see. We'll tackle that one in August.
One day at a time.
Oh,
Just thought,
she's what to sing this week. Oh,
just thought I'd get that in
try to
there.
steal my limelight.
But as I gotta say, have you got anything planned for the weekend?
Well, no, have I? Something tells me about Saturday, but I don't think so. What date we on?
The 13th.
Well, I'm spending Valentine's alone
The
again. I
the
actually prefer Valentine's alone because it means I don't need to buy any presents or any of that, and I don't need to be all mushy. I'm not a very mushy person.
That's the topic for us actually. How do we feel about Valentine's?
I don't know. Because I don't think you should have one day a year where you show somebody you love them. I think if you love somebody, you should be showing it all year round.
Aye.
And I
I
don't
do
like
think it's
it's
pure
like the getting engaged at Valentine's and getting engaged at birthdays and Christmas. I don't like that either.
it's pure over now, like it's over
I think,
commercializing
see, when
that.
you were a teenager or when you were at school, and it was dead funny seeing like who was getting Valentine's cards, and they were always anonymous cards. You didn't know who they were facing,
Aye.
especially in primary school when you were wee, and you would one of your pals or you or whatever would get a card, but they didn't write who it was for. I thought that was I like that kind of side of it, but no, I'm not really into it. I'm a
Aye.
bit of a not a bit of humbug, but like I just said, I think it shouldn't be left to one day a year.
I think it's just mental. Like
It's
he
just a
says to
money
me this
making
morning
scheme.
when he was leaving to go to work, he's like, right, what do you want for tomorrow? And I'm like, "Ah, surprise me. But I don't want nothing, like surprise me. He's like, God, just pick something so I can go and get it. And I was like, but I don't want nothing. I
I
just
mean,
think
there's
it's,
gifts that you can give for free to show how much you love somebody.
yeah, like, no bother.
Slip
I don't even know
inside
what
the
I'm talking
eye
about
of
Valentine's
your
for because I'm not even
mind.
home tomorrow. I'm going to a engagement party.
See, this is what I mean. Who has an engagement party on Valentine's night?
Turkish people. No, see, know what annoys me, but right, like, see, in our culture, like back home, right, when you're doing like parties, like for example, weddings, engagements, like big things.
Mm-hmm.
Birthdays isn't a big thing here, but like weddings, engagement, like that's big to us, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's big here as well. But we have like months in advance of planning this, right? And you have your invitations and all that out months
Ah,
in
you put
advance.
you put your save the dates and everything up.
But see here, like it's a case of
You've
like
got your
there.
wedding next week.
Aye, so yesterday, like, obviously, my mother-in-law came in and says you've got an engagement party on Friday. But same as you know, at the end of the season, there, Sheriff came to me on the Friday morning, went just to let you know we've got a wedding tomorrow. But like
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, uh,
But that, in a sense, right? So that's kind of spontaneous, unless they knew for like 3 years they were going to get married that day and just didn't tell
oh,
anybody.
but here, like they put the invitations at the same week as the wedding, or like 2 weeks before the wedding. It's no like it's
But
planned
then,
months or years in
right,
advance,
so
and
look at it a different way. Does that mean that you don't need to spend a lot of money on the wedding? Does it mean you don't need to spend a lot of money on something to wear because do you know what I mean? Like you get certain people that are maybe trying to compete and do
aye,
better
but weddings here are completely different for our weddings. Like
and
our
gifts
weddings
and
are.
things. Like I think the whole gifting at weddings is out the window now because everybody lives with each other now. Or most people
Well,
live with each
here,
other
obviously,
before they
it
get
comes to
married.
a culture thing again. That's not the
Aye,
case
no, I'm
here.
talking about back here though. I'm talking about back
Aye.
here. The majority of the times people live with each other before they get married. So I don't think you should expect a gift at that point. And I know a lot of people don't expect gifts, but there is still some people that be like, "Well, going to give me money towards my holiday, towards my honeymoon, or going to get
I
me
have seen that's
vouchers."
the new thing, isn't it? Like,
And I don't agree with that. See, if I was
mm,
to get married, no, I've always said it, and I especially said it during lockdown because there was people that were saying, "Oh my God, I can't get married because." I can't have a big party. And I was saying to them, but what's more important to you? Is it the fact of getting married to the person that you love? Or is it the party? Because if it's a party, you're getting married for the wrong reason.
Aye. Ed here, it's not really gifts you get, it's like you pin money on whatever
That's right,
side
you said
of the
that.
family that you come for. It. If it's the groom or the bride, you pin money or put gold on them. Depending again, like, it all depends on who you are to the bride or groom. Like if you're just like a friend, if you're a relative, like it all
Hmm.
depends on that. And it's like all money pinning and like gold. Like if it's family, it's gold you put on them and stuff like that.
It's a bit like a scramble that we used to do here.
So they still do that here, but it's no like a scramble the way it used to be
Aye,
back.
aye, aye,
What it
aye.
is like obviously you get a live band, like cultural, and then like the people come and throw money at the bride and groom, and they throw it at, like, if the mother of the bride and the father of the bride were dancing, like they'll throw money. And
Hmm.
what that basically is everybody picks up the money and it goes towards the band. It's like a tip thing for the band. Like that's how they make extra money on the night.
I went to a non-denominational school, right? So I don't have a religion, and it's not that I don't have beliefs. I just don't have a religion because my family split down the middle, as you know. But outside our school, there was a chapel, and we used to love it at 3 o'clock if there was a wedding just coming out because we'd all wait for the scramble.
Right, but they don't even do that anymore now, do
No, they
they?
don't.
These scrambles
I
and
don't
stuff.
even think. I think a lot of the young ones that are getting married now, like my oldest age, they won't even know what a scramble is. They've probably never heard it.
No, it was the same like my hen night. Like even hen nights now, like they're all totally different. I wanted pure traditional on my
The
hen night, so
pots and pans and everything.
that's exactly what I done. It was the pots and pans. It was the getting a bit with the potty with the wee doll inside covered in salt, and like you go down, I done the pub crawl and everything. That
Hmm.
obviously, my mum did hire like a pub for the end
A
of it, but we
pound for a kiss
Elaine
with
done
the
the pub
bride.
crawl right up to there, and it was brilliant.
Hmm.
Guys put money in the potty and give you a kiss in the cheek, and
Aye. That's it's just there's a lot of traditions, there's a lot of old school stuff that in 10, 20, 30 years time none of the young ones are going to even have heard of them.
I loved the pots and pans. Not my man or pals were all out with the pots and pans, and I was walking with the potty. And then I remember at one point, after I had so much money in my potty, they made me put it on the grun, and you had to go around it 3 times and then sit on it, and it was like to bring you luck for kids or something like that. I can't
Did you
remember what
pee?
the uh, there's a wee dog inside your potty, but it was about future
Did you sit on
kids.
the doll?
It's like that. So it was like, wee small. Maybe that's how my veins are
I'm
wee.
saying nothing because I think what
That's
I
how they
said
took her
last
dad's
week,
height.
I think what I said last week,
Oh, you need to watch what comes out
I
your
need
mouth
to be
then.
careful what I'm saying and I need to behave this week. So I'm just saying you aren't getting the same kind of chat off me as last week, but you might. Depends
Aye.
how the conversation goes.
No, I like tradition when it comes to stuff like that. Like I do like tradition.
Aye, it's
It's
I know, but no, Valentine's I'm not into it.
like one of my pals is getting married on Saturday actually, and we were just on the phone like talking about if they've missed anything out, like the sixpence for the shoe, the garter, the horseshoe, like going through everything.
Something borrowed, something blue.
Aye. Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. But you don't even really see that much at weddings now. Like the horseshoe, remember you always had a wedding that went up and put the horseshoe. You don't really see that now.
My oldest, sorry, was about 3 when my cousin got married, and he took the horseshoe up to her.
Now you don't really see that now at weddings
Mm-mm,
anymore.
mm-mm.
I do. I
But
like
then you've
old
got a lot of
tradition.
people nowadays that are just going abroad to get married.
Aye. But
It's
even at that,
crazy.
like, even though obviously I get married abroad, but I still had my old traditions.
But
Like,
you lived abroad. That's the difference.
aye, but even if I was, I would still take old traditions. Like,
Hmm. I don't think I'd ever get married.
I've still got his family region that I didn't do the big wedding that I was meant to.
Listen, it's what you want and it's not what everybody else wants. That's what I'd say because it's your day and no anybody else's.
Aye. Don't get me wrong, like, my day was, as you know, it was tits up for the start, but it was one of the best days ever. Like everything, anything that could go wrong went wrong on that day, but it was one of the most funniest, best days ever.
But that's what it's all about. And I don't mean everything going wrong. I just mean like
But I
that
just
just
laughed
adds
at everything
extra
going wrong. Like,
memories,
know how
extra
everybody
stories to
would be
tell.
pure stressed, like Bridezilla, and I mean, I howled. I couldn't stop laughing because I just thought, but listen, take it. It's fine. It's cool.
What will be, will be.
The hairdressers was the best part, but like obviously my dad couldn't make my wedding because of his illness. And remember, my ma went and got a blow dry and she went out to one of my pals and she's like, I go and tell um backhander. Go and tell
Don't say that. People will
go and
believe you.
tell Danielle that her dad's here because the hairdresser blow dried my ma's hair flat into her head and she looked like a Lego man. She went, go and tell Danielle her dad's turned up.
Sake.
I had to leave the hairdressers. I think they put about 3 cans of hairspray in my hair. I
Mm-hmm.
had to wash my hair, redo all my own hair, and then same as my bridesmaids, I had to wash all their hairs out and redo their hairs and all.
That's mad, isn't it?
And the sun was splitting the trees. I'm not kidding on it. Was,
I mean, you would get married in May in Turkey.
but the sun was splitting the trees. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Until the minute I put the white dress on, I stepped outside. A thunderstorm came from neighbour.
Oh well.
And Nene's had an umbrella or anything because Nene's expected it. And I just laughed like, and then we got there. He'd forgot the rings. The rings were left in the hotel. He forgot to bring them. Had to send somebody to go and get them. But oh, what a day. What a laugh.
But like I said, that's just mere memories, mere stories for you to tell about your
That's it.
day.
I remember at one point, see that night, like we all went back to the pub where we met. And that night, it was so funny. My ma's like, ah, there's a wedding cake, Daniel. And I went, oh, shit, forgot. I'm not got a wedding cake. Like, oh, ma. And it was my boss at the time. He phoned out to get a cake delivered for us because we forgot about a wedding cake. But it wasn't about having a big thing like
No,
that for us. It was just us doing us. And
don't get me wrong. Like I've never been what do you know how and I've said I don't know how many times I've told this story, but do you know you get some people when they're wee, they dream of their ideal, their perfect wedding, their perfect day for day dot for their wee tots. And some people keep like a scrapbook their whole life, putting
I
things in how they want their wedding to be and what they want it to look like. That's never been me.
never been me
A
either.
wedding's never been something that I've dreamt it. It's never been something that I've been like, I need that in my life. Good job considering I'm 45 and I've never been married, do you know what I mean? Good job I've not dreamt it.
I did
But
always think about going in like trying dresses and all that on, but it's something I never done.
I, but I've always said if I did get married, I think, I don't think I would do the big wedding because again, and this has got to sound daft considering I've got two podcasts, right? But I don't like being the centre of attention.
I know near that.
I don't like all eyes on me.
No.
So I don't think I could do the big wedding where everybody turns around and watches you going down the aisle. It's not for me.
That worried me as well. Like we obviously marrying mixed culture, like because here weddings are massive, like a
Aye.
big, big thing. And you're not talking about like 50 people, 80
What up?
people. You're talking about the hundreds, like 300, 400 people, and like, it is all focused
Aye.
just on the bride. It's mental, but weddings are phenomenal here. Like phenomenal. The last 3 days, they're amazing.
Mm, listen.
But like we've got the tradition that the bride and groom don't see each other before they actually get married. Like the groom
Aye,
waits.
from midnight the night before until
Aye.
the actual
But here
wedding.
it's not like that. So here the groom comes and picks up the bride in the morning and they go for a photo shoot. Aye, it's mental. Like they do all the sunset
That's weird.
photo shoot and all that. Like, and then the bride will go to like, back to her parents' house. The groom will go with his side, and then like the groom will come to the house with his family and a live band, and he'll dance out in the street and all that to bring her out. And like there's so many traditions here that's so nice as well. But the
Mm-hmm.
two of them enter together before they're married. The two of them spend more or less like the day together. It's nice to see different ways.
Can you imagine any of my exes coming and dancing me out?
Well, the sheriff never came to dance for me either.
Oh, come on, man. It's not on the
But
ball
his
here, is it?
mammy, God love her, she still says like, I want you to do this wedding, like you deserve a wedding, and like
But
it's
it's about,
Mary. She thinks about like yous didn't do that, and yous lost out on like the gold, and like yous get to everybody else, and yous never got that. And I think but I would prefer the happy marriage rather than
exactly. And
like
that goes back to my point where I said, what's more important to you? Getting
I
married to
gained
the person
like
you love or the
I'm
big
lucky with my
party?
in-laws. I gained an amazing family that
Hmm.
nothing would take that away from me because I'd rather have that. The relationship I've got with them is phenomenal.
Don't get me wrong, I've been lucky with any of my exes that I've always got on with the parents. There was maybe one I didn't go on with a sibling, but apart from that, I've been lucky.
No, I've got a brilliant relationship with all of them. Like
Because you always hear about people that say, "Oh my God, I can't stand the mother, or I can't stand the
but I
brother,"
don't
or
know how
whatever.
this is a thing for me and all. I don't know how you can marry somebody that you don't go on with their family.
Aye, I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Like I just think it'd
But
be
then I'm a
awkward at
very,
family events and all that if you didn't go on with it. I mean, as I say, I'm very, very lucky. Like they treat me like the rain and I'm the same, you know that.
I'm very stubborn as well. Like very stubborn. And see if I don't like you, I won't kid on. I will just to keep the peace.
Aye,
Because if
no,
my mouth doesn't say it, my face does anyway.
that's our
And I
point.
remember, I was away with an ex. We were away visiting his family, and we'd fell out the night before. And he's like, "Gonna just kid on, gonna just like kid on to my mum and dad that we're fine and everything's alright." And I went, "No." I sat in his mum's house and I never spoke to him the full day. And then I packed the motor up to come back up the road with the two wains. Now, by the way, he didn't live with me, so I wasn't kicking him out, so don't come at me. And he wasn't meant to come back up the road with me anyway. He was meant to be staying another couple of weeks with his family and then coming back to me. And his mum had been sick of him as well. And she's like, "You better pack a bag and just go wheeling." And I was like, "Just because you don't want your son to stay with you doesn't mean to say you can pop him off to me." And I left. But
Aye,
what's the point in me kidding on to you I like you when I don't? It wasn't that I didn't like him, we just fell it. But just because you don't, you birthed him, don't palm him off on me because you can't be bothered with him in your house.
yeah.
No doing it. I'm not taking all your sons that you don't want.
You take anybody's son and know that it's no.
Nah, I'm still fussy.
Aye, so I got an engagement party that I found out the other day.
Well, good.
Got an engagement party tomorrow. Need to
At least somebody's going to have fun on a wee party. Um,
So this is the
so
other fun bit about this because obviously, like my
I'm scared.
my in-laws don't know that we drink
Oh,
or
that's right.
anything like that. So like you feel like a wee teenager again, like hiding all your boots.
Aye.
And
Be
it watch
sitting
what
with
I
your
say in case
parents.
anybody watches
I
it.
remember the first time was it the first? I think it was the first time I got caught smoking, and I was on holiday. My cousin was sitting next to me, and I've done that. My dad walked into the pub that me, her, and two of our pals were sitting at, and I've done that, and I threw the fag at my cousin, burnt her leg, and my dad never spoke to me. It was the day before my 16th birthday, or 2 days before my 16th birthday, and my dad never spoke to me, my birthday or nothing.
Aye.
Didn't even say happy birthday to me. Raging.
Yeah.
Anyway, so me and Danielle, obviously, you know, last week the podcast never quite went to plan and we went a bit ski whiff with the conversation. So we said the topic we had last week, we then couldn't touch on it because we'd went a bit not PG, but 18 plus. So we were going to talk about it this week. But this is where the rage comes in. We think somebody's intercepting our conversations.
Yes.
Danielle's too busy with her phone. She's not paying attention.
I'm not playing my spring.
So, Daniel, we think somebody's intercepting our conversations, and the topic that we had this week, somebody else has done it on their podcast. And this isn't the first time this has happened with this certain podcasters. So we're postponing it again for indefinitely, and we're not telling you what it is. So this week we're talking about nights out, nights
Why
out.
don't I get the notes again? I see what we're talking about. Oh, aye, Danielle's always late. Oh, that's the first one. I forgot. Aye,
We've spoke about that. It's all right.
aye.
We've done our weekly catch up. We've just spoke about postponing the episode. You all right
That's
there?
one.
Are you all right?
Yeah, on you go.
You should be more organised, more prepared.
Yeah, to listen. That's my life.
So we are talking about nights out before and after kids. Take it away. So the one thing I will say is before I had any kids, I was out a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the majority of the time you go to an after party and you go straight to work the next day, minging drunk, probably stinking a BO, same makeup on for the night before, same clothes on for the night before, and you manage to get through a shift and still manage to get home, get changed, and go out the next night again.
But is this to do with like kids or is this an age thing?
Well, I can't date anymore because I've got kids. Maybe
Uh,
because I'm a single parent, it might be different if there's two parents. I don't know, but me personally, if I went on a night out, so I've not really had any nights out that many since I've had two kids because
mm,
I found it harder getting a babysitter for two than I did for one. So going for, so I was 19 when I fell pregnant. I was going out right up to 2 weeks before I gave birth. Obviously, I wasn't drinking or anything. But I still went out to the nightclubs and whatever else right up to 2 weeks before. I mean, I was away out, away, way, way, way out. You could see my bump before you seen me, to the point where one of the bouncers at one of the clubs we used to go to every Thursday night thought he was dead funny one night, and he's like, "There's two of you. You need to pay two entrance fees." Like, I'll fucking kick you right in the.
your entrance fee.
It was an exit fee I was needing anyway. So I was young, so I was only 19 when I fell pregnant. Literally just turned 19 like a couple of months before that. And then I still went out. So my partying days never stopped until 2 weeks before I gave birth. And then once I had the baby, I didn't want to go anywhere, I just wanted to be a mammy. But any nights out that I did have, it was like, well, initially I was staying with my mum because I'd split up with the dad. So I was staying with my mum. So you'd be in time for her. If she was working the next day, you'd make sure you were in time for her going to work and blah, blah, blah. But Matt, he would get up at like 6, half 6 in the morning. So if I was stoting in at like 5, half 5, I wasn't getting to sleep. And to be honest, I need to watch what I'm saying because it depends who watches this. This has got to cause an awful lot of arguments. I don't know if I should have done this topic. Um, no, I'll not say it. I'm not going to say it. But when I moved out, you're laughing because you probably know what I've got to say. When I moved out and he would stay the night with my mum, she'd get him to phone me at 8 o'clock in the morning to go and get him.
Okay. To be honest, since I've had kids, I've never had that, like, they stay out there night or anything like that. Like, if me and
Hmm.
Sheriff have a night out, like, we go and get them, or because my weans don't stay out with anybody,
Aye.
we go and get them before we come home, or depending on what we're doing and how we're
I
having a
think
night.
that's slightly different because use your kids are up late, aren't they? Whereas mine would always be in their beds at 8, 9 o'clock.
Aye. Like that's my fault, but they're up late because
But
in the
yous
winter they're
live,
no, in the summer they're
aye, that's what I was going to say because yous live in sort of, no party central, but you know what I mean? It's like a holiday party resort type
it's
thing.
because of the seasonal
So,
work and the time that we finish and
aye, so it's a bit more accepted for them to be up um later, but whereas here they would have just have went to their bed and then they got up in the morning, they could be bothered with them, so they phone you to come and get them. I mean, that was my experience. I know everybody, most people don't have that experience. Most
I
people
find
get
see when
a
you have
long
kids
lie.
as well, like
Eh?
and even if you're in the same house as them and like because there was plenty of times that if I went out and my ma was here, even though that my ma would be here to attend to the weans if I was in bed with a hangover or anything like that, I think it's just your instinct. Like, you know you're dying, you're rough, and you
You've got to
can't
get
be
up for them.
bothered, but you do it anyhow.
Hmm.
Like you're like, oh, it's all right, I'll get them, it's fine. Like,
But before you had kids, you could, if you felt that way, you could have just lay in your bed all day if you weren't working.
aye, no.
And I do think, obviously, like before you had kids, so you only just yourself to look after. I mean, I know me and my cousin, we'd go on a night out, go to a party or whatever. We'd be coming home at like whatever time in the morning. We'd go to McDonald's on the way home, or else we would come home, go for a sleep for an hour, and then go to McDonald's in a taxi, get
In your jammies.
and I get a drive through, go back up the road, have a munch, and then you're ready to start again. Whereas you can't really do that when you've got weans. You're no feeling it. The good, I mean, you've got Just Eat and all that now, so you can get all your food delivered, but I just think it was different back in the day.
Oh, I do think it comes like, no, I'll be the first to admit it. I can't handle a hangover, like, but nah, but come and take
That
me away,
dying
like,
for
bury
two and
me.
three
Like,
days, no thanks.
see, after that holiday that I done in the first day, like, I was a right off, you know
Do
that?
you remember when I went to Greece?
Aye.
Oh my God, right. So I went to Greece and it was just me and the two boys. And there was this one night I'd met a family from Aberdeen. And the reason I got talking to them was because at the airport, the wife dropped her suitcase on my foot and she apologised. And I was like, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Like, there was no damage or anything. Um, and then it turned out they were staying at the same apartments as us and everything else. So I was there for 2 weeks, but they were only there for a week. So the night before they were leaving, they're like, come and sit and have a drink with us, blah, blah, blah. It was the husband, the wife, and their kids. So that was fine. I was sitting having a drink with them. Oh, well. No, I don't drink Sambuca, right? Because I can literally feel Sambuca burning all the way down into my stomach. And it's as if it hits me like a ton of bricks when it goes into my stomach. So I don't drink Sambuca. But they were giving me red Sambuca. Have you ever had that?
No.
I ended up drinking a full bottle of it, Danielle.
Listen, I remember this night very well because I was getting phone calls.
Yes. So, but the it was a
Was it no,
family that
no, was it
owned.
no Ouzo?
No, no, I've never had Ouzo. I've had Ouzo once when my cousin brought it back. No, it was no Ouzo. It was definitely Sambuca because I was drinking it because it was red because I didn't know you could get red Sambuca. And then the guy behind the bar's laughing. He's like, ah, that's Sambuca. So anyhow, um,
Hold on, stay there. Move. This is your fault.
I nope. So but the guy behind the bar, he'd been trying to like flirt with me the full time I was there, and I was just kind of laughing him off. So I think he thought partly if I get her drunk, I can just sneak into her room. Well, unfortunately for him, he got me drunk. I fell in my bath, I was sitting on the edge of the bath trying to undo my shorts
You were on the phone to me at that time?
to go to the toilet. I was on the phone to her. I had her on the phone like that. I'm trying to undo my shorts, fell in the bath, pissing myself laughing. My oldest son phoned my mum back in Glasgow and said to her, my mum's just fell steaming drunk and banged her head. So she had visions of me lying there out cold, dead. And she's like, and who's looking after your wains? And I'm not looking after herself. Listen, they were fine. I was looking after them. Um, that was funny that night. I never got up to half four the next day.
I remember.
Luckily, my boys aren't big on sitting out in the sun and things like that. They don't really like the heat, so they quite like just having the day in, playing their whatever they were playing, their games things. But that was a bad June.
That was funny. I just remember the phone calls the best day.
And then they were trying to tell me I was calling people names, and I don't think I was calling people names. I
Aye,
think they made that up.
of course we did. Aye, so yeah, I think it hits different having nights out before and after kids. Like, I just think, like, it's obviously it's common sense. Before you've not got a care in the world, that is just you. And like after Wayne's, it's not even that. It's the build up to a night out after Wayne's.
Aye, but like I don't know, but like, I always got up early. See if I've been, it doesn't matter how drunk I've been the night before. I'm always up about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Aye.
But then see come 3, 4 o'clock, I'm like a bus ball.
See, that happens to me. You wake up and you know it's not like you've got a hangover. You just know you're tired and you're like still
Hmm.
that half drunk way.
Aye,
As the day goes on, like it's slowly like a slow process it kicking in, and you're like, oh no.
it's like I'm coming for you. And then you start to feel tired, and then you don't want to cook and you don't want to do anything, and you're just lying there and you're like, if I get any money left to order dinner in.
But it's not. That's what I mean. Like before kids, like it would just be a case of you would get the phone call, we going out tonight, and then you would get ready and that was it. But see now, like we kids, you need to plan in advance now. Like we need to go, and then it's the whole rigmarole is like try to get sorted for that one night out. And it's you're putting that into your head before you even go, okay, I drink too much because I'm gonna have a hangover tomorrow. So, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, and like it's mental.
But I think as well, before you had kids, you would, without even thinking about it, go out and buy a new outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you've got kids, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I need to get this in, and I need to make sure I've got that, and I need to make sure I've got, before you even think about getting yourself anything.
But it's the same as well because before you had kids, it was like, oh, it doesn't matter about dinner or anything. Like, I'll get something when I'm out after I've had a few. See my American wave there?
Aye. Ta-da!
No, it's a case I like get the dinners made, I'll make sure the wains are fed and all that before they go. And like, you need to have something in your stomach to make sure you're not going to be sick tomorrow.
Although I'm at the other side it now. I've got my oldest, he's gone in his night suits, and I'm the taxi driver, and I'm sitting moaning at him for walking home for the town without a jacket on in the snow, remember? And he's like to me, oh my God, I walked up the road pure rapid. And I'm like, rapid? It took you 3 years. I've been phoning you for 3 years to see where you are. And he's like, I thought that was only like half an hour.
Aye, remember the days you came out to dance and kick your shoes off and like you would be carrying your shoes and walking bare feet?
I would take my shoes off before I even left the dancing, and the bouncers would always shout at me.
I don't know, like, no jacket, nothing.
Did you ever go to the Savoy?
Savoy wasn't a big thing. I've been in it a few times, but
Aye. Well,
after
do you know how
Bonk,
there's a running joke about how the carpets are so sticky
aye.
and everything? Well, I actually lost a heel of my shoe in the Savoy because my shoe stuck to the carpet and the sole came away and the heel stayed there.
God. Aye, Savoy wasn't a big dancing for me. It was like, obviously, I loved Archaeos. Archaeos was my place and Bonkers.
No,
And then after that, it was Vicky's.
aye, Vicky's in
I
the
liked the
Savoy.
tunnel. I know the tunnel was good, but I was
No,
more Vicky's.
if I was to go into the town, it was always Vicky's or the Savoy. But that's where all my pals went as well. Um, there was a couple of other places, but that was like our main places if we went into the town.
Like when we were younger, you had your two types of people, and it was your Archaeos people and your
That's right.
Destiny people. Like I wasn't too. Destiny was all right, but it
But
wasn't.
by that point, I already had Wayne's, so I wasn't really involved in all that malarkey. Um, and even before, I used to go to Alisbury or the South Side. I never did. I go to the Shed. I think I might have went to the Shed once. There was another one around the corner for the Shed. I can't remember what it was called. That was the one that we always went to on a Thursday night, sometimes a Sunday, and that was the one where the bouncer says to me, I had to pay 2 entrance fees.
It was at Archers.
Eh?
Archers.
Might have been. Don't know. And then we went to I knew it's went the Plaza. The Plaza was our main place that we went to on a Saturday. A Friday or a Saturday night was the Plaza, but the Plaza's been knocked down now. Shut down, knocked down, kicked to the curb.
Do you remember the Moon?
hmm
That was good. One.
There was another. What was the one at the back of the Scenic Centre? There was two. There was one over there, and there was one over there, and there was one over there. But
Penelope's.
nah,
That was at Four Corners with Jamaica Street.
can't remember I can't remember the name of it. There was a couple down there as well, but I always kind of stuck to the same places to be fair. But no,
Aye.
I don't think nights, even no put no bringing Wayne's into it either. I don't think nights out are what they used to be because it's not that everybody's in competition with each other. We would just shove something on and do our face or whatever and go. Everybody's got to look prim and proper now.
Aye.
Everything's on fleek. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I miss? Like, feedback came a lot. Like, even now when I go back, it's still something we don't do because it's no. See a good local pub. Remember, you used to have your local pub that every Friday and Saturday night you had to be in there. Like, you always had your group of pals, but every week it was somebody different that had to go early between like 7 and 7:30 to get your table.
Aye.
The rest would come in a wee bit later. Like, the local pub used to be an amazing night
Mm.
out. Like,
So before I had kids, all the local pubs I went to were kind of with my cousin, and that we went kind of Rutherglen, Shawlands, that sort of area. But then when I started staying more local once I had kids, it was along the road for me, but it's not there anymore. It's all shut down. And then there was this um woman that worked behind the bar. She was older. She was a horrible, horrible woman. Um, and she hated me, but me and do you remember my pal that stays down in there? I don't really want to get any names. Well, she does still stay down in there. Me and her used to rip it right out all the time because this woman thought she was a bee's knees and she thought every guy fancied her. But she was having an affair with all sorts. And but she was trying to get in with all the young boys and all the young boys were just laughing at her behind her back. She ended up marrying me for no reason, just because she hated me. But I think it was partly because I was kind of seeing a guy at the time and I think her daughter fancied him.
but even like pubs, remember you would have the lock-in, I know.
hmm
A lock-in was like,
Aye, you couldn't get away with that now.
nah. Well, I do know people that still do it.
Aye.
But even then, like, no my hangers, the new. See back then when we done all that, right? I'm saying back then like it was
But
years ago.
when you think about it, like, even you think 4 year ago, 5 year ago was lockdown. Do you know
Well,
what I
see
mean?
the thing, see when we done that, nobody had phones or social medias to
No.
post it and do what you were doing. And I'm pure happy that I grew up without that because see the highlight of your thing, like even when you were younger, you had the disposable cameras, remember? And
Me and that lassie we were just taught, but we used to take one out every single Saturday night.
and then your excitement would be like, obviously where we got them developed was the Forge for us. Your
Aye.
excitement would be putting them into the Asda bit to get them
It was
developed.
always as that I put mine into.
But the thing was that you shot yourself, it was see if you were an Asda, it'd be your ma that and that wee guy says, oh hen, your photos are ready. You didn't
hmm
want your man that to know what was on them.
Or, aye, there was a few
But see
times
that
we,
that takes a lot away from things I know because see these people, like I'm saying these people, I need to watch what I'm saying, that are in a night out and everything's live stories. Live story. I don't like it. Like,
it's the same as people that go to a concert and instead of watching the actual concert, they're videoing it. behind a
I don't get like,
You're
but
not living in the moment, you're not getting that experience, and even when you watch it back, although you videoed it, you're watching it back, you're still not getting that initial experience.
it's mental.
I am not even like talking about the disposable cameras. When me and my cousin used to just kind of kick about the streets or whatever when we were teenagers,
The
we
disposable cameras, man,
we
are
took
dynamite.
disposable cameras. Honestly, I'll show you some of the photos. There's photos of me lying on was steaming out cold, lying
Uh,
on stairs out the back roads, steaming out cold. Every photo I was always steaming.
I
That
love
kind of tells you
it.
how
Was
my
like the
teenage life went.
excitement, but of getting them printed off. It's a shame because
But
teenagers and
they
that now
photos,
won't know what that felt like the excitement of
aye,
getting them printed off, making sure that you had the photos and the what were the things that used to come with them?
the
What were they called?
I forgot negative.
Aye, the negatives you had to hide them and all because remember you used to pick them up and put them in the light and you could see what
Yep.
was on the photos. You didn't want
Because
your
you
man
took the
to find them.
negative, if you wanted to get an extra photo developed for somebody, you took the negative and you told them what number you wanted developed and how
Aye,
many copies you wanted.
oh, man, the good old days with the disposable cameras, eh?
That's it though. It's I remember I think it was my youngest went away with the school for a couple of days and I got him a disposable camera to take with him. But none of them knew what a disposable camera was. So I'd showed them how to work it, but then one of his wee pals thought it was a different kind of camera and he's saying to him, oh, you take the bit out. But I never got the photos because I took the camera apart.
Man.
Um, but it's just another story to tell, isn't it? But so disposable cameras.
Yeah, see, I can't get in it, I can't get in.
That's why we might do it at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I know, but I can't. Aye, disposable cameras. I'm right up there with disposable cameras. Loved it. Actually, going back to thinking about like, so see when you were younger, know how like every no generation, but like every
Aye.
age, there was like a fascination thing that came out, right? I know this isn't even done about we spoke about, but it just came to me because of
Hmm.
disposable cameras. What was your thing like? So remember, you had what were they called the wee elastic? What were they called?
Loom bands.
No, the bracelets. Were they called? I need to watch what I'm saying because I've got ears hanging about. The fuck me bracelets. Remember, you had all the different colours, and like it used to be boys would snap them and all that.
Hmm.
And then the big phase was the dummy. Remember the dummies that you used to have on your neck?
Aye, yeah, I had one of them. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know actually.
Aye,
I
that
don't
was
know
big,
what
like
our actual
the
thing
dummies
was.
hanging in your neck.
Hooded tops. Hooded tops first came in when our first became a thing, and it wasn't even like the hoodie jumpers you get now. It was just like a cotton top, like a long sleeve t-shirt with a hood on it, and everybody was going mad for them. And like shell suits and all that when I was like 11, 12, 10, so I don't even know what age I was. Um,
I think I remember being quite famous in fashion. Like, I don't know why I remember like the sarong skirts or the 3/4 length trousers or the pedal pushers and you like that what was that?
don't know.
Pedal pushers, remember pedal pushers?
Some of the when you think back to some of the things that we would have wore, and you're a bit like,
Aye, wee mini
but
denim
it was in
skirts
at the
with leggings
time.
or pedal pushers underneath them, like leggings, different coloured
Hmm.
leggings underneath your denim skirts.
Snoods. Did you ever have a snood?
What's that?
It's like a big scarf thing that goes around your
Oh,
neck
aye, and it turns into the
and
hood.
it turns into like a hood.
Aye,
I remember having that in primary school for the winter and your earmuffs.
yeah, funny. When you were younger, what was your favourite time of year?
Mm. See, I've always liked different times of year for different things. So I like the winter for being in and being cozy, and I like the summer for being able to get out and
Aye, but
about.
when you were younger, you were never into be
I was
cosy.
never in,
Right.
right? So here's the thing, and I was never cold. either. So I wouldn't wear a jacket. See, especially as a teenager, I was terrible for wearing a jacket. I'd just go out with my trackie on, no socks, and my trainers, and it'd be like up to my knees in snow. Do you know what I mean? You're getting chased by the police because yous are all steaming in the park and everybody's running a different direction. You don't know where to go. Um, I don't probably. I would probably say the summer because you've got all the time off school and you've got all the time in the world to just go and do whatever.
Know what mine was. But
Halloween
back in
probably.
the day, no, not so much now because it's not the same. Bonfire night.
Well, right. So see when I was wee, this is going to show you how old I'm, all right? Um, when I was wee, everybody went to Glasgow Green to watch the fireworks, but one of my aunties, she didn't need to go because she could see it for her house just as clear as if you were there because she didn't stay that far away from it. But every single year, Wet 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 played a free concert, and this was when they were just starting out. So that shows you how old I am. And we used to love going to watch Wet Wet Wet.
Aye, the green used to be amazing, but no, what I loved about Bonfire Night, see my street was brilliant, like for growing up, and we had a cracking street. Um, so what used to happen in Bonfire Night was like everybody always took turns on what they were doing. Like you had one neighbour making something, one neighbour done
Mm.
something, and all the neighbours like all stuck together. Like they would come out and help the Waynes build the fire. I mean, we used to spend months building our
Can
fires.
I interrupt a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Was that no like a coil at the start of this? Was that no, or have you pulled that apart?
Aye, it was a spring.
Aye, that's what I mean, a coiled spring.
Aye. So we used to like we would spend months building a fire. Our fire on our street was amazing. Um, and like my ma was always she always made the hot peas in a pot of soup. One of the other neighbours used to do like the burgers and the hot dogs, and like all the neighbours, it was just an amazing time. Like, all the wains were out in the street, all the neighbours would come out, everybody would be together, they'd all take turns in setting off the fireworks, like and like, us being rogues that we used to save up the deodorant cans to throw them in the fire. I don't know how I should have back in. And
I
like,
don't know that you should have admitted that.
well, don't stay there now.
If anybody's listening and thinks that's a good idea, it isn't, don't do it.
No, it isn't like, but see, to be honest, you don't really get bonfires that much now. They're all like thing mead. This is what I'm talking about. They're all
So,
protected, and it's all like thing mead areas. Like
right, so to an
that used to be
extent,
the highlight of our winter was
aye.
like
So
building our bonfire.
to an extent, right, I do think they need to clamp down a wee bit on who they're selling the fireworks to because you're going up the street and there's wee boys at 14, 15 throwing fireworks at motors driving past.
Aye. Even now,
No,
but fireworks aren't the same as what they used to be either.
no, they're no. But then you've got everybody saying, oh, no, don't come for me. I'm just saying, oh, the poor dogs, the pets, the blah, blah, blah. But people still need to be able to enjoy themselves. There needs to be a fine line, there needs to be a balance. And whether it's get your dog some earmuffs or something, I don't know. But you can't say to somebody, because you've got a dog, because I've got a dog, you can't do something. Do you know
Aye.
what I mean? Like, because if
So all
that's the case, then we
one
just got to
side
stop everybody from having fun all the time.
in during COVID, they stopped the bonfire. They made it like a memorial garden thing, put a wee tree and like flowers and that, which was nice during COVID because to be fair, any of the neighbours that died in the street, they were all planting a wee plant and that for them, and it was something nice. But I was talking to somebody obviously when I was back. I need to watch what I'm saying here. Like when I was back visiting,
Don't you get
they were
us sued?
telling me like, "Oh my God, like can't I believe it?" Because last year they started a bonfire again. Can't I believe they're doing a bonfire? Like, I mean, it's no nice to open your window and like see that. And I was like, no, but it was always a bonfire. Like that was the
But you
highlight of
didn't
our
bother
street.
any other time.
And I was like, that was the highlight of our street. Like that bonfire. People came from different areas to come to our street for that bonfire
I
because like,
love
they did
I love
spend
a
a
good
lot.
fireworks display to be fair. And
We
I've
didn't.
took,
Like, we didn't need to go to the green anybody in our street, and like anybody that grew up will know that. Like our fire was like it was phenomenal. But then it's all controlled now. Get bonfire night the way it used to be. People day individual in their back now that they rain fireworks and that, but it's
well,
not
when we were wee, like I said, we used to go to the green, and then the green got a bit too hectic, so we stopped going. And at the top of our estate, there used to be a big bonfire display there for like everybody that stayed in the estate. But then my dad started doing like the fireworks at the back and things like that. Um, but it's just, I don't know. I think it doesn't matter what anybody does nowadays. Somebody's got a complaint about it.
aye. I do. I miss bonfire. Bonfire was great. Like
Hmm.
Halloween and bonfire were always my thing. Like even Halloween was different. Like
Aye.
remember going round the doors? That was a pure highlight. You would come in for school and be like,
But right,
"My bit costume have you got for us? I've not got nothing. Take a bin bag." Like
well, I remember getting my dad getting a cardboard box and turning it into a dice, and I went out as a dice one year.
yeah, that's the thing. Like
Do you know what I mean?
you couldn't get what you wanted. Your ma would be like, "Right, put a bin bag on. You
No,
can
I
go as a
never ever
teacher."
got an outfit bought for me. It was always one made.
Aye, or going up and take one of your granddad's blazers and a hat, and you can go
Aye,
as like who was no Rab seen as, but was his pal, wee
Jamesy.
Burnsy, Jamesy. Go as him and like just stupid stuff like that. But that's what made the most fun.
Hmm. No, definitely. But even at that, like Halloween, you can't trust the Waynes to go out on their own anymore because you don't know who's out there, and there's
Aye,
too many. I don't know if it's people are getting away with things more, or because of social media, people are getting ideas, or I don't know what it is, but the world's went
remember as well,
mental.
you would get a white sheet put earlier, like, cut the eyes out as a ghost, or like something stupid as that, or you would get the bandages and you went as a mummy.
Aye.
But that's
Hmm.
what it was all about. It wasn't about money, and it wasn't about. It was
Mm-mm.
about having fun and making memories.
Aye. I was talking to one of my neighbours,
My
and
street was brilliant for all stuff like that.
she was saying that at Halloween there was people driving their wains round different places, different schemes, different estates or whatever to get see how much they could get. They were driving their wains to the best places to go trick or treating. That's not what it's about. What you teaching your wains?
Oh, like we did. Our street was brilliant for stuff like that, like Halloween, even New Year, like Hogmanay in our street and all it. Phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. But it's just not the same as what it used to be.
Nah, nothing is though. Nothing
Now
is.
it's actually it's mental. It's quite sad because it's like our wins will never experience that
No.
properly.
Mm-mm.
And again, it comes back to traditions that are thing because it's going to come
And
soon that you
it's
will have bonfires and all that.
it's the domino effect, isn't it? Because it stops somewhere and then as the years go on, you slowly see every other tradition or whatever just slowly disappearing.
Like when we were younger, the excitement was the dads and that used to come out to help us build the bonfires
Mm.
and like all the wains and all the full street would be out helping to do this. And see now, like you think nobody would even help somebody to go out and build a bonfire or like it'd be hold on to see how many likes or follows I get for this.
Or they'd be too scared in case
They get into
there
trouble.
was an ulterior motive.
Back to another subject about stuff that happened when you were younger.
Yeah.
That was the best thing in the summer when you used to steal the key and set off water hydrants. Now, come on, that's something you don't see at all now.
You don't really see that anymore.
As much as nobody to go out and do that or anything like that's
I
like.
don't do it because
But
then it ends
how
up
good was
nobody in your
that when
streets
you had
getting the
the
water
key and
and it's your fault.
you set up the hydrant? How good were they?
And then the dogs are running through getting a wee shower.
Aye. And then it's not happening the fire brigade just to come and shut the mouth about it. Like, where's the key? Who done it? Like, and
Aye.
everybody would pure scatter, and then like 10 minutes later, you'd be like, right, we've done that one. Let's go up the street and do another one. Oh, good days.
Oh
Remember
dear.
the first time I ran through one, didn't realise how powerful it was. Put me right up there.
How am I not even surprised?
I forgot about fire hydrants. Neither
You
do I, but
realise you've got a daughter listening to you who's like the devil incarnate.
well, she doesn't understand what a fire hydrant is. But no. Even going through the park, remember you used to pick the daffodils at the park? Can't do that now either, can't you know?
Can't do nothing. You used to
Used to be the
make,
highlight of
and
your spring, you'd go up the park and
do you
pick
ever
daffodils, my
make
favourite flowers.
daisy chains?
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time we were making daisy chains and my cousin decided to see what grass tastes like. And you're choked to death with it. There was this one blade of grass stuck in her throat and nobody could get it.
Oh my God. No, daffodils and all going to pick all the daffodils. You're not allowed to do that, you know.
But you're not allowed to do it because apparently, no, I don't know if this has always been a thing or if it's just people on social media saying, or I don't know. But apparently, you're not even supposed to take like shells or anything like that off of the beach or pebbles or sand or anything because they belong to, I
I
don't
know
know.
that's a big rule here about sand. Like there's a special beach here and like people used to come and take it. Because it was like
No,
healing sand there.
that's
But
what's
it's
in the
not
UK.
it just stop people from going on it.
I mean, it probably wouldn't have stopped me, but catch me if you can. Um,
Aye.
but then something else we never had when we were wee, and we kind of touched on it earlier, is social media.
Yes.
Now, I think this is probably something we'll just touch on this week, and we probably need to talk about it another time because I don't know how long you've got to talk. Do you want to talk about it this week, or do you want to leave it?
Up to you, man. There you go.
So, social media, I think it can be good. There is pros and cons to it, but I don't know if the cons outweigh the pros sometimes.
I know, like I love keeping in contact with everybody and that on social
Mm-hmm.
media, right? I'm trying to watch how I say it and what I'm saying here. But at the same time, I do love the old MSN days. Like you kept in contact that way and there wasn't like
But I'm even older than that, so I'm like whose phone type person.
oh, I listen, I love the house phone. We were talking about this the other day, remember about the
Mm-hmm.
cream and gold house phone that
Um,
everybody had in the house?
I never even had MSN or anything like that until
Ah, but even before that, like house phone, remember when people went on holiday and they sent postcards?
yes,
That
yes,
that was a big thing when you went on holiday. And
aye.
it was like the first
But
or second day
you
you had
get
to
back
send a post.
home. You got home before the postcard arrived.
Aye, but it was a big thing. Like I remember my ma taking us like Spain, Turkey, everywhere. And on the first couple of days was we need to send the postcard, and I'm like, we're just here, and she's like, no, no, like, and she
Mm-hmm.
would write it out, and she would take it and post it,
That's right.
and like that was a big thing. And every other shop you went to, it was like stands of different postcards, and
Mm-hmm.
then they would get like naughtier and nudier, and like
Aye.
it used to be funny, and that was a big thing. Postcards,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that is.
Do you remember ladies? Aye.
I actually seen something on social media yesterday that actually scared me because it's so true. Like somebody says, like when you talk about if somebody says, "Oh, remember 30 years ago," like in my head, I still think like if you say 30 years ago, you're talking about the 70s or no 1995. Like 30 years ago was 1995. Are
Mm-hmm.
you kidding me on? That's scary.
Listen, I can't believe that I'm edging nearer towards 50 than anything
I
else.
that's scary. But I just seen somebody saying it on social media the other day, and I was like, "Oh
Because
my
see,
God, that,
when you were wee, like for example, me heading towards 50, right? Which I think sounds ancient. And I think when you were younger and when you 40 somebody in their 50, it was like somebody that's pure wrinkly and like looks right old.
I,
I'm sorry, right? But maybe my eyes aren't working right, but I don't think I quite look what I think 50 looks like.
Mhm.
I mean, I know I've got a few years to go and it
Sorry,
might
I'm just writing
change.
down a topic for our
Oh
next one.
no. Oh
You've
no.
you've just brought me into a topic.
Oh no. I'm scared. But 50 sounds ancient to me. And I don't feel as if I'm heading towards 50, and I don't even feel 45, and especially on my head. And I think he's probably realised that after last week's episode, I don't really act my age quite often, a lot, ever, really,
Aye.
sometimes.
Well, aye, you did just think like they were ancient and like now it's like, oh fuck, I'm there. Like,
Hmm.
I'm there.
Like
Like, wow.
I was talking to a pal for school, and it was like, without getting morbid or anything like that, we were just laughing. We weren't being serious. We were just, although what we were saying was true, but we weren't saying it in a serious way. We were just saying it. We're like, the amount of years we've lived, we don't know if we've got the same amount of years left.
Mhm. True.
I mean, I know none of us know how long we're going to live. Like, you could go out and get hit with a bus or something. I don't mean it like that, but I just mean in general, say you lived a full life expectancy of male, female, whatever. We don't know if we've got the same. Do you know what I mean?
I had
So
the
if
same
I had
amount
the
of time.
same, if I was to live the same amount of years as what I've lived already, then obviously that would take me to 90. I don't know if I'm going to get there.
That's it.
Um, I mean, I could live forever.
Legends never die, hen. I'll keep your memory alive.
Try to say you're staying longer than me.
I'm saying
That
I'm a
bump me off.
legend.
But it's
Aye. So what do you think the pros and cons of social media is?
so I like the fact that obviously you can put memories on there, and they're hopefully there forever for you to keep looking back on. See, well, I know unless your Facebook gets shut down like Danielle's, because God knows how
Aye.
that happened. But see, like, say, obviously, I showed a photo of you last week, and that was for like 15, 16 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't keep that on your phone for that long, because you're constantly changing your phones. And like we were talking about earlier on, you used to print off your photos. Nobody prints photos anymore.
But then this comes to a con about that as well. What happens if one day Facebook or something shuts down? What happens if I
Exactly.
don't?
Exactly. So then, what do you do? How do you get all the memories back? And I know people say, oh, memories are in here, but it's nice to look at memories as
But
well.
it's not even just photos you're talking about, like stupid wee things. I mean, like obviously after losing my man dad, I used to wake up one day and like there would be like, you know how you look back on your memories and it would be like a stupid wee conversation that me and my mum were having on
Or you've
Facebook or
tagged yourself in somewhere you've been.
and it's like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, like, and it takes you right back to that place
Aye.
because you've seen it
So
in
I
front of
think
you.
that's like a pro for it. And like you said earlier on about being able to talk to people all over the world. Like my dad lives in England, I'm in Scotland. So I can, obviously it's different now because you've got like WhatsApp and things like that. You can send photos. But back before you did have all that, I could upload a photo of the boys, tag my dad on it, and my dad would get to see it.
Hmm.
Whereas before social media, you would either need to email it or print it off and post it to him.
Right.
And then, but I think the cons are nothing's private anymore.
Aye, that's it. That's the scary part.
Nobody's got boundaries or nobody respects anybody's boundaries. People hear or see something on social media and they think it's true. So somebody spreads a rumour, for example, right? And I know this can happen in real life as well, but in social media, it spreads like wildfire. And they're saying, oh, this person's done this. Like, say, for example, they're saying somebody's committed one of the most heinous crimes, right? And if you've put that on
Trial by
social
media.
media, eh?
It's trial by media, like
Aye.
the
So
things
if
by
you've
media
put that on
before it
social
goes.
media, it must be true because you've put it there.
Aye.
And it's no, it's like, and it's very dangerous as well in the sense that when my oldest was about 16, um, he was trying to lose a bit of weight because he felt as if he was bigger than everybody, all his peers, and he was maybe a wee bit self-conscious.
Mhm.
Um, so he started in exercising, and he was watching this guy on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere like that. Um, and he said, "Oh, I lost this amount of weight in 30 days, blah blah blah." And I said to him, "There is not a chance he's lost all that weight in that amount of time. Doesn't matter how much effort you put in, doesn't matter how much like." you starve yourself or you exercise or whatever. He's not losing that amount of weight in that short time. And it wasn't until like 6 months later he found out the truth. And it was like near enough a year the guy had lost the weight in. But he thought because this guy could do it, he could do it. And it's dangerous.
Just as you're talking about that, like even another thing, you can find anything you want online now, right? But did you know find see when you were younger, like and you wanted to find something out, you remember you had to go to the library to do it?
Mhm.
I used to love doing that, go to the library and like you had to
People
remember.
laugh at me because I still see my notes for work, for like the therapy business. I still write my notes down on paper.
Aye,
I'm
but
still
I like
paper and
paper.
pen. I've still got my appointment book is still a diary, a paper
Aye,
diary.
I still use a diary. But even like silly stuff, see like when you wanted to find stuff that now it's so easy just to go and Google
Just
whatever
Google
it
it
is
and
you
you've got
write.
the answer in seconds.
But remember you had to go out and buy magazines, like you had to buy your magazines to find out about your celebrities and all that.
Mhm.
And like you had to wait every week for a magazine to come
Aye,
out,
but
but that
now
was that wee
everything's
bit
just
exciting.
uploaded every 5, 10 minutes or every couple
Aye.
of minutes. It's you find it out in the moment and it's not as exciting.
Aye, you used to wait for your magazine to come out for that. Remember, you used to get magazines that had free stuff on it,
Aye,
like, and it would
you
be
get
like you
free
build a
makeup.
set or
I
something.
remember when I was in primary seven or was in first year, I can't remember. And there was a magazine and you got a free ticket for you and your pal to go and see to go to the cinema. And it was like the very first showing of some film. I can't remember what film it was before it even came out. And me and her were like super excited to go to this.
Aye, I liked magazines that used to. Joseph done the Crystal one, and every week, every fortnight, it used to be a new Crystal that came out.
Hmm.
Like the first thing that you go with is the free present would be like the case, and then it would be every week would be a Crystal to fill it in. Like,
I don't
aye,
know if you'll remember this because you might be a bit young, but do you remember when you used to get, sorry, my arm's dead so you used to get the free vinyl record? It was like just one
I was
song
just going to say that again.
in your
Remember, you used to
cereal.
get it in the Sunday paper.
Or you used to get it in your cereal as well. I think in the Sunday paper it used to be a DVD or a CD. But
I
in
a
your
CD
cereal
used to get.
you used to get a vinyl record.
I don't remember. I remember toys and cereal.
I used to get the toys in the cereal and everybody like hit their hands right in the bag of cereal trying to get the toy.
Aye, fighting it in the morning. Remember fag
Hmm.
coupons and all? You used to save up the fag coupons to get stuff, and you used to get really
Aye,
good stuff with
aye,
fag
my granny
coupons.
used to do that.
Had
Aye.
I always done that?
My granny used to do that.
It was always
What my
Rego or
granny was
Club.
bad for was, and she didn't realise, God love her, she didn't realise the price. So my granny had got a house phone for the first time, and then she started phoning all these competitions at the back of her magazines, which were like a tenner a minute to phone, but she
Oh,
didn't
aye.
realise that. And then she'd got all these fucking phone bills in that were like hundreds of pounds, and she's like, I've no used my phone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you bloody have your phone and all these numbers, stop it.
Remember you used to have the phone and you would phone the prank line to do a prank call on somebody else? That used
Aye.
to be.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
I know you did. There were some good things when we were wee, but um, mind a phone child line once. I walked away up the shops and went to the phone box and
You're not
phoned
right.
child line. She's away.
I'm here. Just writing down another topic.
What about child line?
I'm on the ball.
I'm glad.
Right, guys, well, I think that we've been on a bit today,
I
have we not?
know. But
Did we cover everything that we were meant to?
the only thing that was at the end was the pros and cons of social media, so we kind of touched on it, but we could do that as another one another day.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I behaved today.
We did. We were good. We were good today.
I'm proud of myself.
Well done, you.
Never named anybody, didn't say anything too X-rated. I don't think I said anything X-rated at all, did I?
No, what does it
Maybe
say in
next
your t-shirt?
week.
But
I'll
I've
treat you to
actually,
that one.
if you don't, what does that say in your t-shirt? Move back, let me
Oh, if
see.
you don't pay my bills, shut your mouth. If you don't pay my bills, shh.
I like that
And
t-shirt,
it's dead
nice.
funny because see when I wear it and I'm outside, it's all the old jeans that are always like pure staring at it and glaring at me. Like, sorry.
As you do, as you do.
Um, but yes, next week, it looks like Danielle's got a few ideas for next week, and I am terrified. Um, yes, we'll maybe
Yeah.
need to try and get on the socials at some point.
Yes. Let me
We need to
get
get the
that.
numbers up. Especially we can do a live on Facebook or Instagram, but we can't do a live on TikTok yet. We've not got enough numbers, so if anybody wants to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, it's just Gossip with Friends podcast. And eventually we'll be able to do a live and we can do like Q&As and you can come on and ask us questions or you can come on and just chat to us or um, give us suggestions for what you want us to talk about. Or even if you want to come on here as a guest, then write in and
Let
we'll
us know.
see.
Right.
But we are off skip because Danielle's taking charge again.
Yeah, because it's I need to get the dinner made and it's nearly 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's right. She's 3 years ahead of us. Whoops. But I hope everybody enjoys their week. Stay
Have a
safe.
nice weekend,
Had
guys.
fun.
Anybody that's out for Valentine's, stay safe.
If you can't be good, be careful.
Yes.
I'm going nowhere. Um, I'm not celebrating Valentine's with nobody. Not a single sausage. Nature Pilates, thank you very
Right,
kindly.
that's you. You're off.
Um, but we will. This will be at 12 o'clock on Saturday, and then we'll be back next week.
See
Speak
you
to you all soon.
soon. Bye.
Bye.